soldier, man at arms, get down. Scars on my hands and arms, hit town. Niggas know that.
The Truthful Dictionary Vocabulary Builder. You'll remember these words. Words 11 through 20. Learn to wield words as if they were a sword. The first word today is burnish. It's a verb. It means polish by rubbing. If you have gold coins, don't carry them around in your pocket because they can become burnished. And don't put them in a safety deposit box because they're not safe there. Government can take them if the president deems that something was a national emergency. The IRS can take the contents of your safety deposit box too. They don't even have to ask. The Constitution calls it illegal search and seizure. The government can steal your bank account and not pay you because the FDIC is broke. That's the insurance company that insures your deposits. So you're back to carrying gold in your pocket where it becomes burnished. Burnish, remember that word. It might come in handy when you're trying to decide where to put your money where the government can't take it from you. Next word, castigate. It's a verb. It means to punish or to chastise. Crimes committed by common people will be punished by imprisonment, but no one will even castigate those in government for the same crimes. And all I want to know is, why don't we have one set of laws for everyone? Why does this system get more corrupt every day? Castigate, remember that word. It might come in handy when you think about how they drive the people back with laws and punishment while those in government skip past all the laws and just do what they please. Next word, caustic. It's an adjective. It means stinging, biting, cutting. Those who believe government lies and spend their time watching television with its subliminal messages are the first ones to call you a tinfoil hat and launch a caustic verbal assault on you if you happen to find the hole in the fence and escape the slavery, the fenced mind, the accepted and coerced way of thinking. Caustic. Remember that word. It might come in handy when you try to find a word that describes what brainwashed people do to you when you don't go along with the official government program. Contrite is an adjective. It means sorry or repentant. People with a soul and a conscience feel contrite when they do something immoral, unethical, or illegal. But these guys in government never feel contrite. And this leads one to think that they have no morality, no ethics, no conscience, and no soul. Contrite, remember that word. It might come in handy when you're looking for a word to describe those with a conscience, a soul, and a desire to do their best. Next word, craven, is an adjective. It means cowardly. Ho 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 ho. Most of the craven Congress just signs legislation without even reading it because they are told to do so by party leaders or by their real bosses, those who operate behind the scenes. They create wars, they spend trillions of our money, and they send our young off to die in unnecessary wars, and they bring down our nation with every governmental agency available to them. Craven, remember that word. It's useful when describing Congress, and I'm surprised that the term craven Congress is not already a cliché. Cryptic is an adjective. It means mysterious or enigmatic. Enigmatic means a puzzle. We see all these executive orders signed by an illegal alien in the White House. Each executive order has its own cryptic meaning, each sending us a cryptic message that few of us can decipher, and some want to know what all this is leading up to. Martial law, citizen armies, guns pointed at Americans, removing the Second Amendment and taking away guns from citizens. Is that the cryptic message conveyed by all these executive orders? Cryptic, remember that word. It fits when describing government's plans to implement the disarmament of America by force. Derision is a noun. It means scoffing at, ridicule. The tactic of the secret government is to use derision to drive people to conformity. If you don't behave like everyone else, you will be ridiculed and scoffed at until you come back into the fenced area. They will call you tinfoil hat, nutcase, nutjob, wacko, and whacked out if you believe something that the controllers have had debunked, like 9/11, the inside job, false flag, self-inflicted terrorist attack by an alleged 19 Arabs with box cutters, without training in flying jets, who could not fly a Cessna 150, who boarded planes, crashed them into the World Trade Center buildings, and lived to say, "I'm here, I'm alive, the government lied about 9/11. One of them gives his testimony from the grave because he died a year before 9/11. Derision is a tool of the murderers and the Nazis in government. They have brainwashed many people to derisively attack anyone who attempts to think for himself. Derision, remember that word, and use it when you're debating 9/11 to those who have had it debunked and their minds are unable now to comprehend the tactics of those who murdered our people and then tried to blame it on Muslims. Devoid, ho ho ho, an adjective meaning lacking. Sometimes the illegal alien in the White House is so devoid of leadership qualities and conscience, so unethical in his conduct, so devoid of common human emotions, devoid of morality, devoid of concern for human life, and lacking any other human qualities that would remotely suggest that he is of this planet, that I think of him as someone who came here from somewhere else. His actions say that he hates Americans and all other human beings, and his opponent is just as bad, with no ethics and devoid of human decency. It leads one to this question: why are these two clowns our best choices in a country of 314 million people? Are we devoid of leadership? Are we a country devoid of talent, skill, and virtue? It makes you wonder. Devoid, remember that word. It suits almost all candidates running for the position of puppet president. The next word is dichotomy. It's a noun, division into two parts, often contradictory. The dichotomy of the political parties doesn't exist, for they are essentially the same party, two heads but just one beast. Both are carrying out the orders of the permanent government, which acts behind the scenes and controls everything from the United Nations to the Nobel Prize Awards, from Congress to the Supreme Court, from the voting booth to the nation's youth, and from the uncouth to the truth. Dichotomy, remember that word, might come in handy when discussing politics and the two-headed one-party system. The last word for today is diffident. It's an adjective and it means modest, timid, or hanging back. If the strategy is to produce young people in this country through the educational system who are lacking confidence in their own ability, driven back by others who ridicule them, see themselves as worthless and unfit, and are not ready to meet the challenges of the world ahead, tell me how the dictatorship in America benefits by having an entire generation that is as diffident as this one. We need people who are not timid and speak out, are confident in who they are and what they can achieve. They are qualified and certain about how they feel and clear in their objectives in life. Diffident, remember that word. It might come in handy when you consider what the secret controlling government is doing to our youth today.
I'd rather do it by myself. Stack money, make music, put my product on the shelf. So many haters, man, it's hard to believe how they mad as fuck with an S like